Today's news highlights 20250815. Date August 15, 2025. Republic of China August 15, 114. Time cutoff point, 1500 hours on the same day. News highlights: the 59-year-old fashion leader Lan Xinmei recently posted a photo without makeup late at night, revealing that she was exhausted after work, with lip sores on the corners of her mouth, and she laughed at herself for stinky corners of her mouth. The doctor pointed out that this may be angular cheilitis, which is caused by chapped cheilitis, infection, nutritional deficiencies, etc., which not only affects the appearance but also prolongs the healing period by repeated cracking. It is recommended to avoid licking your lips, drinking annealing drinks or rubbing ointments, and maintain adequate rest, vitamin supplementation, correct medication, and use steroids, antibiotics, and antifungal ointments if necessary to speed up recovery. News highlights: a study by the Journal of Nutrition analyzed the diets of 1,024 elderly people and found that eating more than one egg per week can reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia by about 47%. Brain tests showed that people who ate eggs regularly accumulated less beta-amylin and tau protein, and the key nutrient was choline. Nutritionists recommend that pregnant women, mental workers, and middle-aged people supplement eggs in moderation. 3 eggs a day is within an acceptable range, and combine them with brain-protecting foods such as DHA, EPA, and nuts. Adopt a Mediterranean or MAD diet, and avoid processing and high-temperature cooking of meat to delay the occurrence of dementia. News highlights: the Executive Yuan passed the draft amendment to the Special Regulations on Resilience on the 14th, increasing the budget ceiling from 545 billion yuan to 590 billion yuan, which will be prepared in 2 phases, of which the first phase of 570 billion yuan covers the general distribution of 1 yuan in cash, care for the disadvantaged and the strengthening of the power system, and the second phase of 200 billion yuan to support industries in coping with tariffs. There is no wealth exclusion clause for universal cash, which will be distributed within 1 month after the announcement of the special budget and completed within 7 months. Another 40 billion yuan will be added to the disadvantaged subsidy, and 200 billion yuan will be used for the resilience of the power grid in industrial parks. The Green Camp hopes that the legislative yuan will expedite the review and distribute it as soon as October, while Blue and White question the long schedule and the use of the electricity budget. News highlights: Bridgewater, the world's largest hedge fund, fully liquidated US-listed Chinese concept stocks in the second quarter, with a market value of about $14.1 billion, including Alibaba, JD.com, Pinduoduo, Baidu, NIO, Trip, Yum China, etc., and withdrew from related ETFs to end direct and indirect investment in Chinese stocks. The move comes amid tensions between the United States and China and the decline in China's economic confidence. Bridgewater simultaneously increased its holdings in American technology giants, with Nvidia's shareholding increasing by 154%, and Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta increasing by 112%, 84%, and 90% respectively. Founder Dario has sold his remaining shares and retired as a director, and Brunei Sovereign Fund has become the new major shareholder. News highlights: in the first half of 2025, the wave of collapses and cancellations of small and medium-sized banks in China intensified, with 210 cancellations, exceeding the full year of 2024. Recently, Dalian Lianfeng Village Bank entered bankruptcy proceedings, and the deposit was undertaken by Dalian Rural Commercial Bank. As the capillaries serving small, medium, and micro enterprises, small and medium-sized banks have seen their loan non-performing ratios rise, their business has shrunk under the difficulties and bankruptcies of private enterprises, and they are under pressure from competition and integration of large state-owned banks. The economic downturn has also affected state-owned enterprises, such as Hefei Construction Engineering's capital chain is broken, with debts of tens of billions. Experts pointed out that although large banks are supported by policies, they may still cover up risks by renewing loans and extending loans, and there are hidden concerns in the banking system. News highlights: Lin Guangyu, director of Taiwan's University Chongren Rehabilitation Clinic, pointed out in the She Health program that common symptoms of degenerative knee arthritis include stiffness, swelling, limited mobility, and knee noise, which are not only related to age, but also to obesity, poor diet, trauma, and overuse. It is recommended to avoid frequent squats and high-impact exercises, and strengthen the thigh muscles through simple exercises such as squats and towel presses to protect the knees. Treatment can be medication, physical or injectable therapy, and in severe cases, surgery is required. Correct diagnosis and continuous maintenance can delay the disease, improve mobility, and avoid premature replacement of artificial joints. News highlights: HTC launched its first AI glasses Vive Eagle on the 14th, priced at NT $15,600, focusing on fashionable appearance and AI assistant functions, weighing less than 49 grams, paired with Zeiss lenses, supporting daily applications such as translation, search, and trip management, and can be connected to Android and iOS. HTC has partnered with Taiwan Mobile and the Boutique Eyewear channel to solve optometry and sales problems, and has partnered with Google to adopt the Gemini language model. Facing strong competitors such as Meta, Google, and Apple, HTC hopes to break through the open ecosystem and differentiated applications to push products from niche markets to daily life. News highlights US President Donald Trump agreed that NVIDIA, was allowed to export H20 AI chips to China after paying 15% of sales to the federal government, setting a record for the first time in US economic history that a fee was required in exchange for an export license. He also publicly demanded the resignation of Intel CEO Chen Liwu. Scholars criticized this move as unjustified and excessive government intervention in the industry. Trump has recently met frequently with technology giants in exchange for increased investment in factory construction in the United States, and some imported chips can be exempt from tariffs. Analysts say that its decision-making style is variable, forcing companies to adjust their operating plans under pressure. News highlights research points out that long-term reliance on AI may weaken critical thinking, memory, and creativity. MIT experiments have shown that AI-only writers can hardly recall content without assistance. In mathematics learning, those who directly received AI answers improved their short-term grades, but their performance declined after losing assistance. Creative research has found that frequent use of AI leads to creative convergence. Experts call this a paradox of thinking. The AI era requires more judgment, but over-reliance weakens thinking. It is recommended to exercise brain power through in-depth reading, handwriting output, etc., and create a thinking gym to protect the brain's dominance. News highlights workplace burnout is a common phenomenon that can occur months or years later, affecting enthusiasm and performance. When faced with burnout, you can first recall your original intention, distinguish between true enthusiasm and trivial matters, and organize your mood through rest or journaling. Seek support from colleagues, supervisors, or friends to truly reflect bottlenecks and get help. Adjust work content appropriately or rotate new projects to increase the sense of excitement. Changing jobs should be the last option. Try internal adjustment and self-healing first, and take care of your body and mind in order to continue to develop your enthusiasm for the workplace steadily. News highlights the U.S. International Trade Commission, ITC, ruled that mainland panel manufacturer BO infringed Samsung Display's trade secrets and imposed a 14-year and 8-month limited exclusion order on BO OLED panels, prohibiting their sales and marketing in the United States. This move will force Apple's OLED screen supply to be taken over by Samsung and LGD, encouraging LGD's stock price to rise, and driving Samsung OLED driver IC production to increase, benefiting UMC's foundry. According to industry analysis, BO's US market layout will be hit hard after the ban takes effect. Samsung's OLED market advantages will be further expanded, and mainland companies will face stricter supervision under the US-China technology war. News highlights the Executive Yuan passed the amendment to the Special Regulations on Resilience on the 14th, deciding that the general cash will be 1 yuan, the budget will be 235 billion yuan, and the administrative operation fee will be 1 billion yuan. The amended regulations stipulate that the special budget will be distributed within 1 month after the announcement and will be completed within 7 months, and it is expected that the public will receive it as soon as the end of the year. The Executive Yuan will send it to the Legislative Yuan for review, pass the third reading and prepare a special budget before implementation, consider operational preparation and system design, and adjust the distribution schedule to ensure operational flexibility. News highlights Palantir, an American AI stock, has risen 144% this year, becoming the highest gainer in the S&P 500, but its valuation has reached 242 times its earnings and 137 times its revenue in the next 12 months. Reft, the founder of Citron, a well-known short-selling expert, believes that although he praises Palantir's excellent performance in big data analysis and excellent CEO leadership, the valuation is too high to support the stock price, and it is estimated that the decline may reach 50%. He pointed out that if competitor Databricks goes public, it will increase the pressure on stock prices to fall. News highlights Musk, the world's richest man and CEO of XAI, rarely praised Google on the 13th, believing that it has the greatest advantages in AI computing and has the highest potential to become an AI leader, but he also pointed out that the situation may change in a few years. Google has recently invested heavily in AI, with capital expenditure increasing to $850 billion this year to meet the demand for chips and AI products. In contrast, Musk's dispute with OpenAI and CEO Altman has intensified and he plans to take legal action against Apple, accusing the App Store of favoring OpenAI. News highlights affected by the central bank's 7th wave of credit controls. Taiwan's housing market was sluggish, with the transaction volume of buildings in the 6 capitals falling by 27% year-on-year, and the number of pre-sale houses cancelled by 55.6%, with a total of 3,449 units. The loan restriction order has made it difficult for first-time buyers and home changers to borrow. Bank lending has tightened, and investors have taken advantage of the low-interest loans of the new Chang'an policy to enter the market to speculate, pushing up housing prices and total prices. The lack of coordination between policies, the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank and the Financial Supervisory Commission took turns taking action, resulting in injuries to owner-occupants, a frozen market, and increasingly prominent contradictions in the housing market. News highlights Lu Yuhao, a former member of the Democratic Progressive Party's Pingtung County Council, died of liver cancer yesterday, 14th, evening at the age of 58. After Liu Yuhao was diagnosed last year, he went through a year of fighting cancer and 2 liver transplants, but he was still defeated by the disease. He has dedicated more than 20 years to politics during his lifetime, and has served as a 2-term Pingtung citizen representative and 2 county councillors, and is deeply respected by colleagues and local people. Pingtung County Councillor Liang Yusai mourned his sincere and enthusiastic and helpful character, thanking him for his selfless support and care along the way, expressing his reluctance and respect. News highlights the referendum on the extension of the 3rd nuclear power plant will be voted on August 23, and the Kuomintang launched an animated advertisement in the style of the American satirical animation The 4 Cheap Guys in the South, ridiculing President Li King's 10 lectures on unity, the general recall and the nuclear energy issue, which sparked heated discussions. The advertisement satirizes a number of politicians and supports nuclear energy companies, and criticizes policies related to the referendum. The Kuomintang emphasized that the film did not receive subsidies from the Ministry of Culture, nor did it smear artists or invite minors to appear, emphasizing the advocacy of correct concepts, which aroused community discussion and attention. News highlights artist Dia, Zhou Yipi, and her 7-year-old husband A Liao Shi, Liao Sunwei, announced the end of their 5-year marriage, and the two completed the divorce procedures on the 24th of last month. Dia recently shared a photo of drinking alone on the community, and posted a photo of his dog sleeping soundly on IG in the early morning of the 15th, thanking his dog for his company during this time, calling it the angel who saved me. She also retweeted an article discussing her relationship, expressing deep sympathy for the description of emotional retreat, revealing that having her dog company is the best comfort after divorce. News highlights the typhoon is far away, and today, 15th, is mostly sunny and hot, but affected by easterly winds. There will be occasional brief showers on the north coast of Keelung, the eastern half and the Hengchun Peninsula, and there may also be local thunderstorms south of Mieli and mountainous areas in the afternoon. The temperature is generally 33–35 degrees C in the western half, and the high temperature in some areas can reach 36 degrees Celsius, and the ultraviolet index is high, so you need to pay attention to sun protection and hydration. The weather forecast is similar on the 16th, with an increase in the southern cloud system from the 17th to the 19th, local thunderstorms in the south and southeast of the windward side, cloudy to sunny in other areas, and an expansion of the afternoon thunderstorms. From the 20th to the 21st, the moisture decreased, the weather stabilized again, and there were no other tropical disturbances affecting Taiwan recently. News highlights a female student surnamed Gao in the first grade science class in Taichung was originally admitted to the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University on the recommendation of STARS, but was disqualified due to the plagiarism controversy at the science exhibition. Shen Zhennan, a psychiatrist who graduated from the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University, called her a literary star descending to earth, describing her excellent performance with a full score in all departments, and said that she bravely faced the pressure of public opinion, the injustice of the education system and the internet environment, and regained glory for herself. News highlights netizens shared creative instant noodles on the Facebook group, adding unified scallion roast beef noodles to cream balls. The taste was described as very similar to the famous Japanese Ikiran ramen, sparking discussion. Many people left messages expressing their desire to try it, and also shared other variations of eating it, such as adding milk powder, curry kimchi, or 5-star sauce, believing that it can add flavor, indicating that the creative way of eating instant noodles is widely loved. News highlights in Datuong Mountain, at the junction of Shulin District and Dawangishan in New Taipei City, a 20-year-old man surnamed Xia climbed a 15-meter-tall power tower to take pictures while enjoying the sunset with his friends. Firefighters wired the fire on foot, and the fire spread to many hills. Power said that the tower has a safe distance, and the detailed cause of the accident is still to be investigated. The incident reminds the public to pay attention to safety when enjoying the scenery and taking photos, and not to take risks climbing dangerous facilities. News highlights the Central Bank of Taiwan has one of the world's largest gold bricks, weighing 220 kilograms, and is now on display at the Jingguashi Gold Museum, with a market value of about NT $7.1 billion. The gold brick was lent to the New Taipei city government by the central bank in 2004 and commissioned by the Central Mint to cast it, and was certified by Guinness World Records. The largest bricks in the non-central bank system is held by the UAE Mint, weighing 300.12 kilograms and worth about $3,561. News highlights a 41-year-old man surnamed Huang in Yunlin County was dissatisfied with his grandmother's desire to find a job, and forced his 93-year-old grandmother to kneel in front of his father's posthumous photo in the early morning of the day before yesterday, beat him with a wooden stick and stabbed him to death in the chest with a fruit knife. The investigation showed that Huang Nan had a previous record of domestic violence in the north. His father returned to his hometown 2 years ago to recuperate, and his grandmother supported Huang Nan. At the time of the incident, neighbors and relatives tried to stop the old woman, but the old woman had multiple injuries all over her body, and her head and chest were fatal. Huang mail is closed and suspicious, and the family tragedy has shocked the community. News highlights gastroenterologist Chen Baishong shared that a 28-year-old patient had an asymptomatic colonoscopy but was unexpectedly diagnosed with colorectal cancer, reminding him that health checkups should be carried out early. Dr. Chen pointed out that the symptoms of colorectal cancer in the early stages are not obvious, and occasional blood in the stool or changes in bowel habits are often mistaken for hemorrhoids or gastroenteritis. The National Health Administration recommends that people over 50 years old have fecal occult blood tests every 1 to 2 years, and those with a family history can have colonoscopy early, and develop exercise and healthy eating habits to prevent colorectal cancer. News highlights actress Da.S, Su Ziwan, passed away due to illness in February, and her family buried her in the Jinbeisan Rose Garden. Yesterday, 14th, Yan Chensu and Jia Yongzhe and his wife went up the mountain to mourn together, staying in front of Da.S.'s tomb for about 13 minutes. Yan Chensu was so emotional that he cried, and after a short farewell, he went to Jinshan restaurant alone to eat vegetarian food and still couldn't calm down his sadness. Although the screen CP of Meteor Garden in the past was rumored to be incompatible, Big S still made a video to support Yan Chensu before his death, but now the knot has been resolved but they have not been able to meet again, which is embarrassing. Jia Yongzhe said that the cemetery environment is quiet, and her mood is full of emotion and reluctance. News highlights Su Weining and Chu Ziyi have been living a low-key life since getting married in 2021, and it was reported that they were pregnant in May this year, but the couple has not confirmed it to the outside world. On the 14th, a friend in the entertainment industry received a gift box for the moon, and only then did he confirm that the baby was born and named him Ian, a baby boy. Su Weining posted a photo of holding the baby's feet on IG to report that she was safe, and personally confirmed the good news. Chu Ziyi also thanked the outside world for his blessings through his agent. The moon card writes that the baby is safe and healthy, loves to laugh, loves to eat, and likes to interact with his parents, calling on everyone to take care of him more. News highlights the yellow-flowered wind bell tree on Zhangnan Road, Feinaiyuan Township, Zhonghua County, is known as the Golden Avenue, blooming in March and April every year to attract tourism, but the tree is about 20 years old, and some old trees have fragile roots and poor branches, causing a fatal accident among postmen last year. After evaluation, the Nantou Public Works section of the Highway Bureau decided to remove 93 trees with safety concerns in September this year, and most residents agreed to give priority to safety. Residents suggested that some sections of the road should not be densely planted, and the police pointed out that most self-collision accidents were caused by driving factors, but fallen trees must be properly handled during typhoons. News highlights Taitung's crops have been severely damaged by typhoons for 3 consecutive years, and on the 13th, Typhoon Yangliu hit Taiwan, with strong gusts of 14 to 17 in the Nanhui and Rift Valley areas, with accumulated rainfall of more than 300 mm in many townships, about 60% of the fruit of Wendan pomelo, bananas blown off, and custard fruits damaged or trees falling. Some fruit trees took more than a year to recover, and farmers were also busy assisting the villagers in dealing with the disaster, saying that a year's hard work has fallen to the ground. News highlights an accident occurred in Shulin District, New Taipei City on the evening of the 14th, when a 20-year-old man surnamed Xia accidentally electrocuted while climbing the high-voltage power tower of the Datung Mountain observation deck to take pictures of the sunset scenery. A 20-year-old woman surnamed Shang who was traveling with her used her mobile phone to take pictures of Xianan's climbing process, which became her last figure before her death. The Dawan police preliminary investigation determined that it was an accident, and Xianan left many traces of electric shock and burns on his body, and he was sent to the hospital for rescue but still had no way to recover, which is regrettable. News highlights the Executive Yuan will pass the draft amendment to the Special Regulations on Resilience, stipulating that the General Cash Fund will begin to be disbursed within 1 month after the passage of the special budget and will be completed within 7 months. The political Yuan said that this move allows the public to have more time to receive it, which is more convenient than the original 2-month time limit. In response to Kuomintang legislators' questions about 7 months of preparation, the political Yuan emphasized that the actual operation will start within 1 month after the announcement of the special budget, not 7 months of preparation. If the Legislative Yuan completes the legislative process in early September, the administrative team is expected to start distributing it in September. News highlights the final stop of the 11th anniversary food truck roundabout of variety show is playing big arrived in Taitung, inviting Wei Ruyun and Zhang Zhenaiyu to sing a number of classic songs. When Wei Ruyun sang the late host group member Huang Angshen's masterpiece The Most Romantic Song on Earth, the atmosphere of the audience turned sentimental. Wu Zongxian burst into tears at the scene, Kid and Kunda looked solemn, and the audience and the host sang in unison to remember the little ghost. Huang Hongsheng will celebrate the 5th anniversary of his death next month. Wei Ruyun looked at the sky and shouted, "Ghost brother, I hope you will like it," after singing, which made the scene burst into tears, and the host admitted that he was deeply moved by this surprise arrangement. News highlights internet celebrity money-saving expert Sister May shared that Nuvi, an online clothing store from the same company as Net, is often cheaper than Net stores, and there are clearance specials from time to time, with a minimum discount of only 40%, such as a short vest for girls at 36 yuan. She gave an example of net men's vest stores priced at 599 yuan, new V sold for 472 yuan, children's down jacket stores are 1,290 yuan, and new V sells for 960 yuan. The post sparked heated discussions among netizens, who believed that new V was affordable and made of good materials, making it suitable for purchasing daily clothing and children's growth clothing. News highlights: the Mainland Affairs Council has launched an investigation and punishment against Taiwanese artists who sing the CCP's remarks, and has successively notified 20 people to explain that more than 10 people have replied and have a deadline. The incident began in March this year, when a number of Taiwanese artists forwarded posts such as Taiwan Province, China, and Taiwan must return by Chinese state media. The Mainland Affairs Council has severely condemned it and handled it in accordance with the cross-strait regulations, and has not yet taken any punishment. News highlights: Soho named the 4 zodiac signs with the best financial luck in the second half of 2025. 4th place Aries, who has strong action and the help of noble people, can break through challenges and quickly accumulate wealth. The 3rd place Leo, with his business sense and decisive decision-making, is expected to make a lot of money by investing in emerging industries. 2nd place Sagittarius, you can encounter potential business opportunities in travel and socializing, and the support of friends will help you get rich. The 1st place Capricorn is steady and pragmatic and seizes promotion and investment opportunities, and his wealth continues to grow. News highlights: 40-year-old artist Dia, Zhou Yipi, and her 7-year-old badminton coach husband A Liao Shi announced their divorce, emphasizing that there were no quarrels and no third parties, just because they found that they were more suitable to be family and friends after getting along. There are no children in 5 years of marriage, and both parties have been diagnosed with deterioration of ovarian function and special condition of the fallopian tubes. She was once suggested artificial insemination, but in the end, it was fate, and unexpectedly the love came to an end. News highlights: Taichung Mayor Liu Zihuan questioned the central government's suspension of planned subsidies at the Executive Yuan meeting yesterday, and clashed with Premier Zhou Rongta several times, creating a tense atmosphere. Environment Minister Peng Kaiming said in an interview today that Liu's speech was very fierce, like a mother scolding her son, and aggressing for too long. Peng pointed out that after the revision of the Central Financial Planning Law, the fiscal structure has changed, and the budget has been reduced, resulting in a decrease in subsidies. News highlights: U.S. President Trump has implemented a reciprocal tariff policy, hoping to promote the return of manufacturing, but some people found that Walmart's children's clothing has risen from $6.98 to $10.98, which has sparked heated discussions on PTT. Netizens ridiculed the China pay statement and the price gap, bluntly saying that tariffs will eventually be passed on to consumers, which is like consumption tax. Some criticize American voters for lacking economic common sense, while others point out that short-term retailers may absorb costs, but once the price increase starts, it will push up prices across the board. The discussion extended to criticism of Trump's policies, the gap between the rich and the poor, and international negotiation strategies, questioning the disconnect between official inflation data and public sentiment. News highlights: the Executive Yuan will pass the draft amendment to the Special Regulations on Strengthening the Economy and Resilience, increasing the upper limit of funds to 5,900 billion yuan, maintaining a general cash of 1 yuan to maintain non-wealth exclusion, and adding 1 billion yuan in operating expenses, 200 billion yuan to strengthen the resilience of the power grid in industrial parks, and 40 billion yuan to take care of the disadvantaged. The cash will be distributed within 1 month after the announcement of the special budget, and will be completed within 7 months, with the earliest being issued in September. During the meeting, Taichung Mayor Liu Zihuan and Premier Zhou Rongta confronted each other on the issue of local subsidies, and the atmosphere was tense for a while. The opposition party questioned the power budget to secretly supplement Taipower, and Taipower responded that it would be used to strengthen the transmission system of industrial parks across Taiwan. News highlights: Killing, known as the king of Southern Bassian singers, joined Hoji Records to launch Southern Love, but was mistakenly reported to have colorectal cancer, which made relatives and friends nervous. Killing clarified that only benign colon polyps were removed a few years ago, and regular follow-up could be completed in March next year. This time, with Xia Lei's encouragement, he sang the new song Lady Love with Zhang Ziyuking and returned to the music scene. He also revealed for the first time that he had been divorced for 23 years, which attracted the reaction of his daughter and ex-wife, laughing that although he was bombarded by phone calls, he felt everyone's concern. News highlights: foreign internet celebrity Lana Madison has attracted 7.6 fans with her appearance and figure, but her other identity is a private detective, specializing in testing her boyfriend's loyalty for female netizens. Her service method is mainly through social media interaction, observing whether the other party will cheat and providing screenshots of the conversation as evidence. Lana emphasized that she did not deliberately destroy her feelings, all actions were carried out in accordance with customer requirements, and she abides by service ethics and will not contact men privately. Each service charges $5,000, about $15. She describes her work as a mirror that allows women to see the truth clearly, and believes that men who can resist her offensive are truly reliable people. News highlights: Shen Yulin lost 17 kilograms last year, Tang Qiyang lost 28 kilograms, and the two recently partnered with TVBS 11 O'Clock Hot Shop. Tang Qiyang revealed that during the second recording, Shen Yulin said that she had a strange illness, tiredness, and poor complexion, which made her pay more attention to health management, and began to shorten the interval between health check UPS and draw blood regularly. Tang Qiyang also mentioned that his drinking habits need to be improved, and he often adds lemon or coffee to drink water smoothly. Regarding Shen Yulin's possible long vacation, she said that she can take care of the production arrangement and ratings, and said that Xiao Zhen has rich experience in substituting for the class and can drive the atmosphere of the program. News highlights: anchor Zhang Lingyu found that more than half of the customers in net stores were foreign tourists, and he was curious about whether the operators were advertising abroad. According to netizen analysis, the reasons for Net's popularity include affordable price, good quality, complete sizes, diverse styles, and in line with foreigners' dressing styles, plus many store bases, and high CP value. In addition, Net also provides love delivery coupons to disadvantaged families every year, allowing them to happily choose new clothes, demonstrating corporate kindness and social responsibility. News highlights: Typhoon Yangliu has moved away from Taiwan, and today, 15th, it will be sunny and hot in various places, with a high temperature of 33 to 35 degrees in the west, and higher in the northern part and near the mountainous areas in the south. There will be brief showers from time to time on the north coast of Keelung, the eastern half and the Hengchun Peninsula on the windward side, and there will be local thunderstorms in the afternoon south of Mili and other mountainous areas, but the rainfall area is small and short-lived. People's TV weather anchor Lin Jiakai reminded that the large low pressure in the South China Sea may generate tropical disturbances, but it will move towards Hainan Island and will not have a direct impact on Taiwan. The outlying islands are cloudy when sunny, with strong winds and sea waves of 1 to 2 meters. News highlights: Yang Lanlin, a 23-year-old Chinese woman, drove a Rolls-Royce in a high-end residential area in Sydney, Australia, and crashed into the Mercedes car of Australian host Sandy Lands, causing serious injuries to the driver and requiring amputation. The incident sparked heated discussions in the outside world, and Yang Lanlin was suspected of being a descendant of a high-ranking Chinese official, which attracted attention because of her overlapping name Lanlin. Hu Keiping, a financial network beauty, pointed out that senior CCP officials often name their children with overlapping characters, with the intention of keeping children away from political struggles and reducing the risk of being targeted. News highlights: the Executive Yuan passed the draft amendment to the Special Regulations on Strengthening Economic, Social and People's Livelihood and National Security Resilience in response to the international situation on the 14th, confirming that the general distribution of 1 yuan in cash will be issued without a wealth exclusion clause, and the distribution will be started within 1 month after the budget is announced and completed within 7 months. Premier Zhou Rongta said on the 15th that he will speed up the preparation of special budgets, coordinate with various ministries and local governments to fully implement them, and called on the Legislative Yuan to pass the regulations as soon as possible, emphasizing that policies such as universal cash and industrial support and national resilience will be promoted simultaneously to ensure that people's livelihood care is not left behind. News highlights: the Ministry of Economic Affairs clarified that Guo was only invited to greet and then left the table, not hosted by the department, and called on Congressman Ho to provide evidence, otherwise false accusations will be pursued in accordance with the law. In this regard, DPP legislator Wang Shijian said on the 15th that although Guo Zhihui performed well, he was prone to old problems, emphasizing that socializing should be restrained at critical moments, reminding Guo that one word prosperous the country, one word ruining the country, pointing out that improper dinner parties may affect Taiwan-US relations and departmental performance, and said that he did not want to comment more on private life, but he needed to act cautiously. News highlights: recently, many Taiwanese artists such as Yu Yang Nana and Patty Ho have forwarded the CCP's Taiwan Must Return pictures and texts after earning income in China, which has attracted the attention of the Mainland Affairs Council. The Mainland Affairs Council and the Ministry of Culture have targeted about 20 people for investigation, and more than 10 people have replied to the explanation, and some have not responded. Vice Chairman Liang Wenjie said that those who fail to reply within the time limit will be deemed to have given up their explanations, and the government will punish them in accordance with the law. The Mainland Affairs Council emphasized that artists cannot shirk responsibility for being unclear and uninteresting, which is seen as cooperative and dwarfs Taiwan's sovereignty. News highlights: during the trial of the Jinghua City case in the Taipei District Court, former People's Party Chairman Kei Wenz went berserk in court, smashed water bottles and cursed the prosecutor. He was almost detained by the bailiffs. After the lawyer's intercession, Chen Piki was not recorded in the record with her real name, which caused the internet celebrity Four-Pronged Cat to question, "This is not a privilege, what is a privilege?" The incident sparked heated discussions on the internet, and also made the K couple repeatedly appear on the news page in the past week. News highlights: some netizens shared that the summer air conditioner was turned on for 2 consecutive months and did not turn off 24 hours a day, and they were originally worried about soaring electricity bills, but the bill was only 1,837 yuan, which was far lower than the 3,700 to 5,000 yuan per period of the old air conditioner in the past. She said that after switching to an inverter air conditioner, it still saves electricity after turning it on for a long time, which also resonated with many netizens, who thought that the electricity bill was not high throughout the summer. Tapower recommends setting the air conditioner to 26 to 28 degrees and pairing it with an electric fan, which can save about 6% of electricity for every 1 degree of adjustment, and regularly cleaning the filter can increase the energy-saving effect by about 10%. News highlights. People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing announced his participation in the 2026 New Taipei City mayoral election, expressing his hope to be the best option and maintain goodwill and sincerity. As of the morning of August 15, more than 3 people participated, and the results showed that 42.6% were optimistic and 50.1% were not optimistic. Voters are predominantly male, 74.1%, with the majority living in the north, 61.9%, and concentrated in age groups of 36 to 55. News highlights. After heavy rains in Kaohsiung for several days, pathogens are easily exposed to soil and muddy water, and they may be infected with melioidosis through contact or contaminated water sources. As of August 13, Kaohsiung reported 30 confirmed cases, 93% over 50 years old, 63% over 65 years old, and most of them had a history of chronic diseases. All 3 deaths were men over 50 years old, and one of them had been drinking mountain spring water for a long time. The Health Bureau reminds that high-risk groups should avoid contact with contaminated soil and water, boil mountain spring water or well water, disinfect the polluted environment at home, and seek medical attention as soon as possible if symptoms such as fever and cough occur. News highlights. A 41-year-old man surnamed Huang from Dongxi Township, Yunlin County, was dissatisfied with not being able to ask for money from his 93-year-old grandmother, and was reminded to find a job. Neighbors and relatives tried to dissuade her but failed, and when the police arrived, the grandmother was obviously dead. The prosecution found that the grandmother had been hit the head with a blunt object, her hands were almost broken, and she had a knife wound to her chest. Huang Nan had a criminal record of domestic violence and obstruction of official duties, and after his father died of illness recently, he lived with his grandmother and relied on his annuity and savings, and was now allowed to be detained for murder. News highlights. A 37-year-old single mother, Awan, takes care of her 3 daughters with autism, ADHD, and multiple developmental delays alone. The life-saving money accumulated over the years of saving money was all defrauded because they mistakenly believed in the free diaper online scam, and the account was even listed as a fraud warning, and the mother and daughter fell into a deeper predicament. Awan relies on disability subsidies and sporadic subsidies from her ex-husband to make a living, and although her home is small and crowded with goods, she is still strong to take care of her children, and public welfare groups have intervened to provide long-term support. News highlights. Huang Lui's career luck has been very successful this year, taking over the reality show 9 Heroes in a Class and the movie Cornerhead, Overwatch, and the work Left-Handed Girl was also shortlisted for the Cannes Film Festival, and will host the Golden Bell Awards in October. He revealed that in the second half of last year, there was no filming at all, and he also spent 4,700 yuan to change the house for his daughter to give a separate room, and the monthly mortgage and living expenses were nearly 30 yuan, which was very stressful. During the break, he practiced English diligently in preparation for international exchanges, and finally got his work back on track after New Year's Day this year. He believes that as long as you do it, you will receive the opportunities you want, and successfully ushered in the peak of his career. News highlights. After 3 months of treatment, she shared her current situation on social platforms, revealing that she was undergoing the 3rd stage of treatment, and exposed her shaved head for the first time, and couldn't help but cry during the process. Jin Zaiwen said that the treatment in the first 2 stages was relatively stable, although the cancer caused her to fall into a trough, but the care of her family and friends made her feel warm again. She admitted that she still needs to undergo hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, but hopes to recover as soon as possible and encourages everyone to cherish a healthy life. News highlights. The latest research shows that fruit juice concentrates are high in sugar and often add preservatives, which may increase the risk of stroke. A study covering 27 countries and about 2.7 participants pointed out that drinking 1 cup of concentrated juice per day increased the risk of stroke by 37%, and if it reached more than 2 cups, the risk doubled, especially in women. Physician Zhang Xiaoshan reminded that freshly squeezed juice is healthier, while cola and carbonated drinks also increase the risk. In contrast, drinking more than 7 glasses of water a day can reduce the adverse effects of sugary drinks and reduce the chance of stroke. News highlights. At 23 o'clock on August 22, 2025, the first day of the 7th lunar month, the ghost door opened, and numerology expert teacher Xiao Meng pointed out that there are 5 zodiac signs with strong financial luck. The 5th zodiac sheep has good financial luck, and the return on investing in stocks or funds can be expected. The 4th zodiac monkey's past financial or stock difficulties will be improved. The 3rd zodiac rooster can fight for a salary increase or change jobs from the supervisor. The 2nd zodiac dragon gains wealth with wisdom, and the fortune of travel or entrepreneurship is improved. the performance and income of the first zodiac rabbit have increased significantly, and past efforts will pay off. News highlights the hottest day after the beginning of autumn. On August 15th, the whole Taiwan was mostly sunny and hot, with high temperatures of 36 to 37 degrees in the north, 34 to 35 degrees in the central and southern parts, and 33 to 34 degrees in the east. UV rays are strong, so you need to protect yourself from the sun and hydrate when you go out. The Pacific high pressure continued over the weekend, and thunderstorms were still frequent in the afternoon, with more obvious rain in the south and southeast. In the next 2 or 3 days, tropical disturbances in the South China Sea and southeast Taiwan will brew, and the probability of typhoons remains to be observed, so we need to continue to pay attention to weather changes. News highlights at the beginning of this year, a number of well-known stores in Taiwan had a series of high-value theft cases, and the main suspect surnamed Yang and his fraudulent organization obtained foreign credit card information and illegal programs from overseas, bound them to the criminal mobile phone, and went to department stores, silver buildings, foreign wine stores, etc. to steal high-priced goods, making a profit of more than 20 million yuan within 3 weeks. The police formed a task force using technology and traditional investigation methods to arrest 20 people in 3 waves of operations, and seized mobile phones, card machines, chips, cash and other evidence, and sent them for prosecution in accordance with the crime of fraud and the organized crime regulations. News highlights a religious scandal occurred in Sakhon Nakhon province, Thailand on the 12th, and a 53-year-old monk, Frachanarong Montechato, was found by the police to be suspected of having intimate acts with a woman in a car parked on the side of the road. The police then took the monks to the temple for a ceremony to return to the secular world and conducted a urine test, but no drugs were detected. During the investigation, it was found that the license plate of the car was forged and has been seized in accordance with the law, and the source of the vehicle and related matters involved in the case will be further traced. News highlights former DPP Pingtung County Councillor Liu Yuhao, brother Hao, died of liver cancer at the age of 58. Liu Yuhao was diagnosed in 2024 and still lost to the disease after a year of active fighting cancer and 2 liver transplant surgeries. He has been in politics for more than 20 years, serving as a 2-term Pingtung citizen representative and a 2-term county councillor, and served as the deputy director of the Legislative Committee Service Office of Panmengan, Secretary General of the Presidential Office. Political friend Yang Yusai and many former colleagues have posted condolences, praising him as a good big brother who treats others sincerely and enthusiastically dedicated, and thanks him for his investment and support for his hometown and ideas. News highlights the Central Election Committee will hold the 4th TV opinion conference on the 13th, and Huang Qiuakang, chairman of the People's Party, attended on behalf of the positive side. He said that the fuel pool space of the 3rd nuclear power plant is limited, and the bidding for the indoor dry storage site is expected to be completed in 3 to 5 years, and proposed the deep hole geological disposal DBD technology, which can inject high-level nuclear waste into the crystalline rock layer 3 to 5 kilometers below the surface for long-term isolation, reducing construction risks and human intrusion. This statement sparked discussion, and political commentator Wu Kunyo questioned that the Dayton Mountain Magma Reservoir is only 8 kilometers from the surface, expressing doubts about the safety of this technology. News highlights Taichung Mayor Liu Zihuan was dissatisfied with the central government's unilateral suspension of planned subsidies, and yesterday at the Executive Yuan meeting, she had a verbal exchange with President Zhou Rongta on the issue of budget and financial planning law, and the atmosphere at the scene was tense. Environment Minister Peng Kaiming described Mayor Liu as very fierce and tough and pointed out that the local government was originally captured. The budget of more than 400 billion yuan has been reduced due to the request of the controller unit, and the increase in local financial resources after the revision of the financial planning law, making it difficult for the central government to continue subsidies. Zhou Rongta emphasized that the court meeting is a place for public discussion, and the two sides are only discussing matters, while Liu Zihuan said that it is necessary to fight for the rights and interests of the people. News highlights a 30-year-old man was suspected of being injured outside a public toilet due to a relationship dispute, and the public immediately reported the bloodstains when they found them. The police broke down the door and rescued the man, and after being sent to the hospital, his vital signs were stable and not life-threatening. News highlights gastroenterologist Chen Baishong pointed out that the age of colorectal cancer is gradually getting younger, and a 28-year-old male patient was recently admitted to the hospital, who was asymptomatic and only had a routine colonoscopy, but was unexpectedly diagnosed. Doctors remind that early colorectal cancer symptoms are not obvious, such as blood in the stool, changes in bowel habits, or weight loss, which are often mistaken for hemorrhoids or gastroenteritis. Health check UPS should be conducted early, even if you are young, to ensure timely treatment and quality of life. News highlights Honhai, 2317, reported good news at the legal conference on the 14th, and rotating CEO Yang Kaiyujin predicted that AI server shipments in the third quarter will more than triple compared to the second quarter, with a year-on-year growth rate of 1.7 times related revenue, and is expected to continue until the fourth quarter, with annual revenue expected to exceed 1 trillion yuan. The net profit after tax in the second quarter was 443.61 billion yuan and EPS per share was 3.19 yuan, a new high for the same period, but the gross profit margin of 6.33% was better than the previous quarter, but still lower than the same period last year. Financial expert Ruan Mahua pointed out that the decline in gross profit margin due to exchange losses and rising costs will be the key to stabilizing and rebounding in the third quarter, and the market is also paying attention to stock price performance. News highlights: HTC 2498 officially released the new AI glasses Vive Eagle, 100% made in Taiwan, and the world premiere market is also in Taiwan, which is expected to go on sale on September 1st. Vive Eagle combines multiple AI functions with smart life applications, supports traditional Chinese voice control, and is priced from 15,600 yuan. HTC stock price quickly rose to the limit of 46.95 yuan after opening high on the 15th, with more than 7,900 orders queued up, and the group stocks Luwei and Jianda rose by the daily limit, with Quanda up more than 6% and Via up more than 1%, showing the market's enthusiastic buying. News highlights: Berkshire, a subsidiary of Warren Buffett, bought 500 shares of United Health in the second quarter, bringing its holdings worth $1.6 billion, and its stock price surged more than 10% after hours. Berkshire also sold its T-Mobile holdings and withdrew $1 billion, and also reduced its shares in Apple and Buffett again, causing Apple's market value to shrink by about $92 billion. United Health has recently faced multiple crises, including high-level shootings, rising medical costs, and lower-than-expected financial reports. Berkshire also adjusted its investment in real estate, steel, and food, recognizing a $3.8 billion impairment on Kraft Heinz, but did not increase or decrease its holdings in the second quarter. News highlights: in recent years, small square-footage residences have become popular choices for home buyers due to their low total price. Yongqing housing statistics in Taiwan, Zhongli district ranked first with 759 small house transactions, mainly concentrated in stations and along the Jizhi line, with an average total price of about 543 yuan, attracting petty bourgeoisie from Shuangbei to move in. The 5 districts of Tomsui, Zhanghe, Sankong, Bangqiao and Xinzhuang in New Taipei City are on the list, all of which are close to the MRT, with a total price of about 1,000 yuan. Taichung's Zaitun district and North district ranked in the top 10 with 617 and 607 projects respectively, with a total price of less than 500 yuan, which is favored by students and office workers, indicating that the small square footage residence has convenient transportation, living functions, and affordable prices, and the transaction is hot. News highlights: Pegatron chairman Tong Zixian expressed his stance across blue-green issues with calmness, rationality, and enthusiasm, support the extension of the third nuclear power plant to respond to energy security and international trends, and also support Hualian's removal of Fu Kunkai, echoing public opinion and moral judgment. He attaches great importance to reading and research, backs decision-making with knowledge, takes into account social responsibility and business management, maintains good relations with various parties, is not limited by political colors, shows mature civic spirit, and emphasizes that his position comes from speculation and conscience, rather than partisan affiliation. News highlights: the Legislative Yuan passed the special regulations on recovery and reconstruction after Typhoon Dinas and 728 heavy rain, raising the funding ceiling from 560 billion yuan to 600 billion yuan, including 9 reconstruction projects including agriculture, water conservancy, electricity, and telecommunications. The regulations apply to disaster-stricken areas including Tainan, Kaohsiung, Qi, Pingtung, Taichung, Zhonghua, Nantou, Yunlin, Taitung, Hualien, and Miili. The implementation period is until December 31st, 115, and some important facilities are postponed to December 31st, 116. The regulations clearly stipulate that the central government subsidizes local special funds for special use, and provides assistance of 2 to 3 yuan per household for households with floods of more than 50 centimeters. News highlights: Russia and Ukraine exchanged 84 prisoners of war today, including soldiers and civilians, some of whom were detained by Russia from 2014 to 2017. The prisoner exchange was mediated by the United Arab Emirates, and the Russian released personnel are receiving psychological and medical assistance. The Mariupol defenders are also on the list. This is the latest batch of hundreds of prisoner exchange operations this year, and it is also the only substantive result of Russia and Ukraine in the Istanbul peace negotiations from May to July. News highlights: Nantou 823 will hold the second wave of recall voting. Ma Wen-jun announced today that he refused to attend the recall briefing, saying that the recall was unfair and unjust and wasting time to respond to smear rumors. She said that she had submitted a reply in accordance with the law, and voters could consult the full text of the Gazette or the Internet, and emphasized that only Nantou villagers were her referees. Ma Wen-jun clarified that the policies involved in the recent recall propaganda such as child care subsidies, rent subsidies, infertility treatment, and cancer screening have not been cut or cancelled, and criticized the recall group for spreading lies. She will personally hold briefings in Kowtun and Puli to report to the villagers in Nantou. News highlights: the rear windshield of an SUV in Dali District, Taichung City was completely broken and the sheet metal was dented, and the driver did not replace it immediately, but covered it with plastic wrap and continued on the road. The car repair shop operator pointed out that the plastic wrap may completely block the view from behind, and broken glass or items in the car may splash, endangering other road users. The police said that if the supervisory unit determines that it affects traffic safety, it will impose a fine of 900 to 1,800 yuan in accordance with the road traffic regulations. The public was surprised by this behavior and worried about the safety risks. News highlights: former Japan AV actress Sayaka Tsutsumi, debuted in 2001 and attracted attention for her sweet lowly image, but suddenly retired in 2003. Although she no longer makes films, she is still active on social platforms and shares her life with fans. Recently she was on X, formerly Twitter, admitted that even after 22 years of retirement, he is still troubled by the psychological sequelae of his past work, such as having to work hard to control instinctive reactions when visiting the dentist, and feeling great psychological pressure, which has aroused heated discussions among netizens. News highlights: a mother in Taichung City came home and found the door locked, and after breaking the door, she was surprised to see her son and his friends taking drugs at home. The mother called the police sadly, and the friend took advantage of the chaos to escape. The man confessed that he took drugs when they first met through a dating app. Taichung City Police and the prosecution stated that the mother's righteous destruction of relatives helped her son stay away from poison, and the prosecution suspended the prosecution of the man. News highlights: the Kuomintang recently launched a propaganda video in the style of the American animation 4 in the South, supporting the extension of the Third Nuclear Service, and ridiculing the 10 lectures on unity, the general recall and nuclear energy issues. The characters in the film allude to President Li Qiang, Huang Rongsuan, CEO of NVIDIA, Tong Xixian, chairman of Pegatron, and DPP legislators Ke Jianming, Wang Yushuan, and others. The Kuomintang clarified on Facebook on the evening of the 14th that this advertisement did not accept subsidies from the Ministry of Culture, did not smear Taiwanese groups, and did not invite minors to appear, and emphasized that state subsidies should be used for art and cultural groups that really work hard. News highlights: a female student surnamed Gao from Taichung No. 1 Middle School lost her admission qualification for the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University due to the plagiarism controversy at the science exhibition, but later re-entered the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University through the subject test. Psychiatrist Shen Zhennan pointed out that Gao Nu was still able to be readmitted to the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University in the face of public pressure and a dark educational environment, showing extraordinary perseverance and intelligence, calling her Wen Kuxing. In the review of the incident, it was mentioned that after Fang Xing was admitted to the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University, it caused discussion on the internet, but her admission was cancelled because her works at the science exhibition were similar to journal papers. Despite this, she was not discouraged, and in just 9 days to prepare for the subject test, she was successfully admitted to the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University again. Shen Zhennan said that this is a rare case in the century-old history of the Department of Medicine of National Taiwan University, and it is also exciting news recently. News highlights: Typhoon Yangliu is far away from Taiwan, and the weather stabilizes briefly, but the Meteorological Administration reminds that afternoon thunderstorms cannot be ignored. Today and tomorrow, there will be local heavy rain in the central and southern parts of the afternoon, and there is a chance of short-term heavy rainfall south of Chi. From Sunday to next Tuesday, the area of thunderstorms in the western half and mountainous areas will expand, and the south must be prepared for heavy rain. From next Wednesday, the Pacific high pressure will strengthen, the weather in Taiwan will stabilize, and scattered thunderstorms may still occur in the afternoon. The high temperature in the western half is generally above 33 degrees, north of Hsinchu can reach 36 to 37 degrees, and there are also high temperatures above 36 degrees in the central and southern inland. News highlights: the online game Paradise broke out a major infringement case. The Criminal Bureau cracked down on the illegal private server group Shake Heaven that has been in operation for 15 years, attracting players through the official game content and logo of the copycat, adjusting the difficulty of monsters and the drop rate, and roughly estimating the market value of infringement in 15 years is as high as 5 billion yuan. The police conducted 2 investigations in March and May, arrested 4 suspects on the spot, seized servers, cash, and electronic equipment, and sent them to the police in accordance with the law. News highlights: artists Su Weining and Chu Ziyi got married in 2021, and recently indirectly announced the good news through the mid-moon gift box, welcoming the baby boy Ian, who was born safely this summer. The Maya card reveals that the child has a lively personality and loves to laugh, likes to interact with his father and listen to his mother's stories, and the couple shares the joy of being a first-time parent in a warm tone. Su Weining just celebrated her 41st birthday a few days ago, and it is speculated that the baby has completed confinement. The gift box was made by the Zinla Foundation, which also shows the couple's concern for public welfare. News highlights: a male netizen shared that his wife took her 10-year-old son to Okinawa for a trip, and he suffered a sudden cerebral hemorrhage in the early morning of the next day and needed emergency craniotomy. Due to the language barrier and high medical expenses, he could only instruct his child to call an ambulance from the hotel for help. Although the operation saved his life, his wife lost consciousness and breathed spontaneously. After a week of waiting and spending NT $135 to take a medical plane, his wife was finally sent back to Taipei Rongzhong, where she is still living on the machine. Male netizens said that during the period, they felt like a nightmare and hoped that his wife would recover soon. News highlights: a 20-year-old man surnamed Xia climbed a high-voltage power tower and accidentally fell from a height of 15 meters to take a photo with miscanthus, causing a fire and eventually dying tragically. After the police and fire department received the report, they had to wait for Taipower to cut off the power before they could rescue them, but they still could not save their lives. Xianan was only admitted to Jingguan University of Science and Technology this year, and he encountered a regret before he registered, which is embarrassing. News highlights: on the evening of July 30th, a vehicle fell into a valley accident in Daowen District, Kaohsiung City, and the driver surnamed Li climbed out of the pothole 3 times to ask for help, trying to save his family in the car. The family revealed that the insurance company determined that Li Nan's behavior of saving people was done with the knowledge of danger and was only willing to claim life insurance, which was about 400 yuan different from the amount of accident insurance, and the two sides were still negotiating. The second son was taken over by his biological father, and the family hopes to protect his life through fundraising or insurance money in the future. News highlights: millions of fans and gender writer Xiao Tong recently went to the emergency room due to a high fever of 38.4 degrees. Although the cause of the fever is still unknown after a blood test, she has taken antipyretic medicine and went home to rest. Xiao Tong underwent surgery and chemotherapy for pancreatic cancer last year, and fever was unusual for her, so she was particularly cautious in seeking medical attention. She emphasized that there is no infection, nor is it a new crown, and the blood report will be released in 2 weeks. Xiao Tong said optimistically, "I was too tired these past 2 days, and I forgot that I was no longer a strong woman in the workplace," and continued chemotherapy to fight cancer. News highlights: actress Yu Yangjing was diagnosed with prediabetes, with a body fat percentage of 43.7%, total cholesterol and glycated hemoglobin are also high, and decided to start a high-protein, low-starch diet and exercise to control calories from the end of June, losing 3 kilograms per month to avoid muscle loss. She hopes to improve her health checkup data and return to the marathon track. She has completed 15 full marathons, gained about 20 kilograms after giving birth, and still trains hard, hoping that her son will see his mother running hard, thinking that he is very handsome and powerful, temporarily resist the temptation of Tainan food, and move forward with all his strength towards health and goals. News highlights: Lin Chiyu, Li Er, recently had a parenting breakdown, and she went to the emergency room twice in a row on the 14th. In the morning, he sought emergency medical attention due to his son's earache, and the test result was inexplicable otitis media. 12 hours later, he jumped off the sofa and was injured because his son did not listen to advice, and rushed to the emergency room again. She had no choice but to share her feelings on Instagram, shouting, "Why are boys so skinny?" admitting that parenting life is hard and tiring. News highlights: the 122-year-old Guanglong Senior Family Affairs and Commercial Vocational School in Keelung has stopped enrolling since last year due to the declining birth rate, and the school has transformed the Idolshench building into a Sunshine Center, which is expected to open in October, recruiting 48 elderly people to provide life care, learning courses, and rehabilitation activities. President Chen Yuge said that after the graduation of existing students, the school will comprehensively consolidate resources and develop into long-term care institutions, continuing the value of education and serving the society. News highlights: in the recent Latin dance competition at the Chengdu World Games, Latvian referee Sergejs Hinkins became the focus with his 191 cm tall figure and perfect 9-head body ratio. During the game, he was dressed in a black suit and had an elegant posture, and netizens praised Ferrari is still Ferrari when it is old, and the photo quickly became popular on the internet. Hinkins then opened an account on Zaya Hongshu, and his fans surged to 20 in just 1 day. He revealed that the secret to maintaining elegance lies in incorporating dance into daily life, maintaining good habits and a happy mood. News highlights: the 2nd Security Police Corps of the National Police Department is stepping up the expansion and training of the 2nd Security Special Service Team, which is expected to have more than 230 people, which is equivalent to the Security Special Service Team. The team is assisted by the U.S. Green Hat Unit for secret training, and the training content covers rifle shooting, door breaking, night combat, rappelling, TCCC tactical rescue and indoor combat, and the equipment includes pistols, submachine guns, assault rifles, and sniper rifles. News highlights: the 2025 World Robotics Conference was held in Beijing, and the team of Dr. Zhang Qifeng of Nanyang Technological University in Singapore announced the development of the world's first surrogacy robot, equipped with an artificial uterine system that can simulate the complete pregnancy and delivery process, and is expected to be launched within a year, with a price of about RMB 10. The robot's abdomen will show fetal movement with the bulge during pregnancy, and the pregnancy box simulates temperature, humidity, nutrition, and metabolism, but the current artificial uterus technology is limited to animal experiments, and the intact in vitro pregnancy of human embryos still faces technical bottlenecks such as placental metabolism, immunity, and neurodevelopment. If it breaks through, it may become a new breakthrough in reproductive medicine, but there are still technical and ethical challenges. News highlights: a 60-year-old woman in Guangdong rekindled her hope after losing her son, successfully became pregnant with the third generation of IVF technology, and gave birth to a healthy baby boy weighing 2,350 grams by cesarean section on August 4 this year. During pregnancy, the medical team monitored the whole process and activated the two-way referral green channel to a specialized hospital for delivery, and finally gave birth smoothly and safely, allowing her to usher in a miracle of life again in her later years, from despair to hope. News highlights: Taipei City Dongyuan Elementary School ace pitcher Lin Jins shined in the William Porter World Little League, LLWS, game against Mexico. He completely blocked the opponent's batting line in the first 3 innings, struck out 9 times, only walked 2 and made 1 fielding error to get on base, and the fastest ball speed reached 82 miles per hour, about 131.9 kilometers, which is equivalent to an adult's 107 miles per hour, about 172.1 kilometers, in the 46-foot pitching mound of the minor league. In addition, he hit a Yangchun home run with a full pitch in the first at-bat in the first inning to help the team score first, and finally Dongyuan Elementary School shut out Mexico 3-0, showing his pitching and hitting strength.